This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on FilmRiot, we make an explosion. A slow motion explosion.
That's oddly specific.
What is?
You got a package.
Yes! What is it?
It's my slow motion explosion.
You ordered an explosion.
Slow motion explosion. Amazon Prime, 2-day free shipping.
You bought an explosion off Amazon.
Slow motion Prime, 2-day free shipping.
30% positive that's not legal. Where are you going?
To try it out. Obviously.
This is not how I expected today to go.
Ready? I said, are you ready?
Sure.
Here we go.
Should we read the instructions?
I did. It said pull the tab on the box to make it explode.
That's it? Wow. It is actually exploding.
In slow motion.
So Amazon just sent this to you in the mail.
Prime, 2-day free shipping.
2 days.
2 days.
And they're good. So that's still growing. You set off an explosion in a residential neighborhood. There are families here.
Yeah, but look how slow it is. You can walk away from that. It's not that dangerous.
Yeah, but it's still growing.
Think it's too late to move it?
I think it's probably too late to move it, yeah.
What if it's like a grease fire? Like if you put water on it, it's like, wah! Like maybe we should get flour or baking. How much baking soda
I
do
think
you
we
have
should
in the house?
probably call somebody.
Yeah, we should probably just call somebody.
Yeah.
Logo.
Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects techniques. Going on some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and today we're showing you how to do this. Because of this. I need a slow-mo explosion. Any way I could do this without assets in After Effects? I like that challenge, so let's do the no pants dance.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
Baby making.
All right.
You know, since we're slowing things down with the explosion, I figure
Why not slow things down right here, baby? You know what I'm talking about. Oh,
No,
yeah. Know what, baby?
we are definitely not doing that the entire episode.
Doing what, my baby?
Oh, God.
To make this sexy piece of ooh, yeah. First, we'll bring our footage into After Effects, then make a new comp with that footage and add a solid layer. Then we hide our footage for now. Next, we add a fractal noise effect to our solid, and for the fractal type,
Okay, this is taking way longer than it should.
yeah, we should stop doing this, baby.
Ryan.
sorry. For the fractal type and noise type, we chose dynamic and soft linear because these resemble the fractal noise found in explosions very closely. Then click the invert checkbox so that we get a stringy look, which will resemble fire, explosions, even more. There are no correct settings, but here's what we did to get the right amount of contrast. We had contrast at 177, brightness at -11, and complexity at 20. Next, you're gonna keyframe the evolution and scale settings to move at the speed of the explosion's expansion. After that, we add a tritone effect to color the fractal noise, which is pretty straightforward. You just want to give it the color of a typical explosion. And you can look up images online of explosions and just copy the color from those by color picking. To add actual perspective and the feel of roundness, we'll add CC Sphere. And if you play back now, you can see that it looks like the noise is expanding across the surface. And of course, you can increase the radius as much as you need, and it's okay if it clips off the screen. Now, inside of CC Sphere, in the light settings, we'll turn the diffuse and ambient to 100% and light intensity to 0 so that there are no shadows at all. It should be a flat ball of color.
And action.
Oh,
Action.
To add the illusion that the fire is expanding upwards, we added a simple expression to the rotation X parameter. Alt or Command click on the keyframe button and write time * 2. This will just increase or decrease the rotation rate over time. In our case, 2 worked just fine, but you can add whatever number you'd like. We just want this speed and the fractal noise motion to look good together. Now we'll add a new solid layer above the fire layer and add trap code particular to this solid layer, and we're gonna use this layer as a matte for the one under it. And the particle setup is pretty straightforward here too. Basically, we just want a growing puffball that matches the rate of the noise and rotating sphere. So we're gonna set particles per second to 500, direction to outwards, velocity to 110, then velocity random to 20, and velocity distribution to 0.5. Keep in mind that these are all numbers that we toyed around with until something worked, so feel free to mess around with that to get the look that you want.
Should we read the instructions?
I was looking in the wrong spot.
Now in the particle drop down, our settings were light per second at 10, particle type to sphere, sphere feather to 30, size at 99, size random at 32, and opacity set at 100. Next, add a roughen edges effect. This will break up the edges so that it's not perfectly smooth, and all I did was to change edge to roughen, edge sharpness to 0, and on the evolution spinner, add the same exact expression that you used previously, time * 2. Now duplicate this effect layer and change the edge type to spiky, and here is what our edge is looking like. Take this entire layer and pre-compose it. We're gonna do this because we're using this layer as a matte, and After Effects is not gonna recognize all the effects that we applied to it if we don't pre-compose it. So now you should have 2 layers in this comp that should look like this. Notice that the fractal sphere is bigger than the particles. This is so that it always has something to cut out. So turn the particle layer visibility off and then change the fire layers track matte to alpha. Now pre-compose these 2 layers into a new comp and call it explosion or ducks, whatever you want to call it, really.
That's really bright.
But now we're gonna move our ducks layer down until it's cutting off about half of our explosion. Then we'll pre-comp it one last time and add a mask to the bottom to soften it a little bit so we're not getting that harsh edge. Next, we're gonna fit it into our shot, but before we do that, some sponsor love.
I did. It said pull the tab on the box to make it explode.
I'll see you in a minute.
See you later.
If you're a budding filmmaker, entrepreneur, innovator, domain.com is the place to go when that next idea hits you. I know you've probably heard the list of available domain extensions is growing, but you now have the opportunity to name your site and build your brands in ways that have never been possible before. Choose from a growing list of 400 plus domain name extensions like .com, .org, .design, and .club. And to show you some love, they're giving you 25% off their already affordable prices. Buy domain names, web hosting, email, just use the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout. You're getting that 25% off. And when you think domain names, think domain.com.
I wasn't gonna say anything this whole episode.
I almost made it. I was like right freaking there.
Wrong.
Logo.
So now that we have our explosion where we want it, we're gonna unhide our footage and then track it if we need to so that we can place the explosion in the scene realistically. And quick side note, make sure to move your pivot point on the explosion so that you can scale and move it easy enough when you're making your tweaks. Now add some color correction and grading to the fire to make it look more real and fit the scene more and less fractal. For us, it was a mix of changing the hue, brightness, and contrast and adding some sharpening to really bring out those stringy fractals. Then we're gonna add a few colored solid layers, mask around them, and put them into additive mode just to add a ground glow. Just mess around with this until you get something that you like. And of course, don't forget to turn on motion blur. On top of all that, add an adjustment layer and apply either Red Giant's or Video Copilot's heat distortion plugins. This is gonna add that heat haze to your footage. And if you don't have either of those, you could always just use turbulent displace.
Turbulent displacement, turbulent displacement.
Now all that's left to do is grade, and there you go. The easiest way to do this is by not showing the bottom of the explosion where the explosion intersects with the ground, but if you do want to show the entire thing, you can always add another layer of particular to add that dust blowout to help hide the ground better.
Explosion. Amazon Prime. Was that better though?
But that's it, a really interesting way to create a slow-mo explosion entirely in After Effects without any explosion assets or 3D. And that is it for today. Of course, we got the Twitters right here, and we actually have a pretty epic shoot coming up at the end of the month here that we're doing in Vancouver with a stunt team. So if you want to see pictures and some periscoping from that, definitely follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Josh2. All of those links are in the notes below, and I'll see you guys next week when the rabbit's foot is in the open.
Camera cut.
That's oddly specific.
What is? From the beginning. Julio.
Good, sir. The instructions.
I did. It said pull the tab on the box to open it over here. Okay, let's see that.
That's oddly specific. Wait, hold on. Go back. Go back.
What?
Go back.
What?
Come on.
Am I going? Am I going back?
Come on!
That's oddly specific.
What is?